Economy and ecology. They may not care for each other, but we're stuck with them both. To all the faithful chummers, I say hello. This is the Neo-Anarchist Vidcast, broadcasting spanking new from the most reliably biased source in the Matrix, the Shadowcasters network, the only source for no Buldrek info. I'm your ineffable, impassable, anarchical truth jockey Opti, and today on the NAV we take a bite out of 2002 to 2004 in a segment we call The Government Takes Your Drek on behalf of the corpse, and in return they frag up the planet. Repeat after me, I am a good little neo-anarchist. Please tell me you didn't repeat after me. Haven't you been listening? Don't let anyone tell you what to do, not even me. Resist control like that, little crows. If I've learned anything, it's this. Watch your back, conserve ammo, never deal with a dragon, and anytime someone tells you to repeat after them, they are trying to frag you over. Or use you, and then frag you over. Someday, little crows, you aren't gonna have old Opti to teach you this stuff. What then? Today's marvelous masterpiece of truth-telling starts with Ares. The Ares Corporation was formed when Nicholas Aurelius saw what Shiawase and their shiny new extraterritoriality was getting away with. Old Nick Aurelius started buying up and consolidating all of these larger and smaller corps, eliminating redundancies, and then got himself fast-tracked for extraterritoriality by US President Martin Hunt himself. The result was the biggest corporation with the most resources and the most power that anyone had ever seen. Headquartered in Detroit and topped off with a bright, shiny new extraterritoriality, you have a corporation many more times powerful and influential than the vast majority of nations in the world. Say what you want about old Nicholas Aurelius, and most people do, but the man had ambition, and it paid off big. Around that same time, in 2002, global resources were beginning to show signs of shortage. Corps needed to look for untapped regions of resources, and almost as if the corporations were paying them, trademark sarcasm, the US government began using eminent domain laws to grab previously untapped land and resources, often not even bothering to pay anything on the trade. Richer areas were, of course, left alone. Poorer areas were grabbed indiscriminately. Shocking, I know. The vast majority of this resource rush manifested in the form of breaking previous treaties with the Native American tribes, and a wholesale looting of tribal reservations occurred. For reasons we still don't understand, Native Americans didn't like this very much. Millions of acres were simply stolen. Tribal land was directly handed over to a handful of corporations trying to wring every last ounce of oil, natural gas, coal, iron, or any other remotely valuable resource from the land, with the President of the United States seemingly willing to give the corps anything they asked for. In April of 2002, a few more radical groups within the Native American tribes banded together to oppose this naked land grab. Forming in Denver, Colorado, and naming themselves the Sovereign American Indian Movement, or SAIM, or SAME, they professed the goal of ridding themselves of a foreign intrusion once and for all, so that they could be free to rule themselves. And the neo-anarchists said, amen. By summer 2003, most of the damage had already been done, but the US still had another move to make. In July, the United States government dissolved the municipal government of Washington, D.C., replacing it with federal control. Citing widespread corruption and escalating deaths, crumbling infrastructure, and no accountability, most U.S. citizens saw it for what it was. They might have agreed that the federal government had appropriate criticisms, but they didn't feel that the federal government was going to do any better, but they were also too lazy to stop it. Doing nothing for his image as a power-hungry corporate tool, President Martin Hunt made the news again in April of 2004 when news outlets everywhere began reporting that he was paying huge sums of money to Mexico's president in exchange for Mexico's government looking the other way as the resource rush on behalf of the corps continued unabated south of the border. Corps enjoyed profit and new resources, more tribes and people lost their land, and the only seeming consequence was that Martin Hunt was voted out of office in November, replaced by President Philip Bester. He wasn't much bester. Hopefully, you didn't get the impression that politics and land was the only thing happening in those years, though. For reasons not completely understood, ecological disasters began to occur in rapid succession. Chemical sludge caused the mass relocation of hundreds of thousands of people in the Baltic Sea and North Sea areas. Pro-environmental groups in Germany gained power as a result, frustrating the pro-corporate plans of the bigwigs. Flash floods among the North Sea areas further complicated things in Germany when they were forced to shut down multiple nuclear power plants, which were on the verge of meltdown. During the shutdown, the Biblis plant released radioactive gas into the atmosphere, predictably leading corporations to gloat about the ill-conceived environmentalism. The corps were forced to eat their own words, eat crow, if you will, a little bit later when the meltdown of the nuclear power plant in Dungeness, England went down. That horrible incident caused environmentalists to win big, ideologically, and a streak of pro-Earth groups gained traction worldwide for the next few decades. Parting shots for this week's lessons are as follows. March of 2003, Japanese Aerospace Corporation, in collaboration with BAE, released the Ghost suborbital plane, capable of flight from London to Boston in 76 minutes, oh my. London to Tokyo in just a few hours. Within weeks, they had enough orders to fill the next 5 years. 2 months later, scientists create the fastest-selling fish of all time. Yes, scientists created this fish. Geneticists bred a group of fish that glowed under black lights, and all the little kids rejoice at having their own personal living nightlight. Lastly, in 2004, Libya pushed Israel too far by releasing chemical weapons. In retaliation, Israel nuked them. Thrice. Libya did not fare too well. What have we learned today, little crows? Democracy, it's a joke. Corporations don't care about you. Mother Nature hates it when you beat her up. And the quickest way to a revolution is fragging with people's land. In the meantime, viva la revolution. Chummers. You have now wasted another perfectly good number of minutes filling your fragile heads with the Shadowcasters network. This was the Neo-Anarchist Vidcast, and I was, am, and forever will be Opti. Enjoy your freedom. Someone will be along shortly to take it from you. You know it's embarrassing when you stick around after the show, right? It tells people that you don't have anywhere else to be. But look at you. You must have somewhere else to be. I can tell. You're quality people. You're important, winsome, compassionate. Total specimens. It is embarrassing, though. For me. Hate all the attention. In closing, I want to give a handsome load of thanks to our Patreon supporters for making the vidcast possible. Words can't express my gratitude. And you can also stop by the Shadowrun Community Network Discord server to hang out with us and chat. The illustrious audio illumination was written by the venerable Marshall Parker and reimagined masterfully by Uninium88, and the graphic design that frames my farcical face is by Taryn Davis and Errantry Designs. And now I'm going to talk about money stuff, so leave me alone while I talk about stuff I don't want to talk about. If you really want to support the process and making of our show, head to patreon.com/Neo-Anarchist and throw some money at us so we can continue to throw our best at you. Pick up a hat or a shirt or a sticker as a reward while you're at it. It makes all the difference in the world. To us, anyway. Monthly. Now listen, towards the future. We all mess up. Sometimes bad, but here's the thing. Instead of beating yourself up, first, remove yourself from the situation. This may be needed if continuing to be around might cause more harm. Once you're gone, find some place to be by yourself or with someone you really trust, and then remind yourself of your value. I mean, no matter how hard it is, no matter how guilty you feel, comfort yourself. Assure yourself. Find your zen and your peace and your life, and only then can you reflect honestly and bravely about the hurt or mess you've caused. Once you've been able to honestly evaluate that, then you'll know how to move forward. And maybe you can even make it right. And then you can let it go. A bit wiser, a bit more careful. Take care of yourselves, little crows. Someone has to.